right, Paul Newitt with Pedal Magazine. We're here with Clark Foy from Garmin USA, and Clark is going to go over the Garmin Vector power pedal, which is a pretty exciting product this year at Interbike. So go ahead, Clark.
Thanks, Paul. So Garmin Vector, we're here demoing it. We've got it on bikes up in our booth. So as a rider, you can get up on Garmin, on the Vector pedal, see your power, see your left-right balance, and I'll tell you a little bit about the system in the background. So at its heart, it's been designed to be incredibly easy to use. So we believe it's the first system a cyclist can walk into a bike shop, purchase Vector, get home, put it on their bikes, install it themselves, and have power. There's no build-to-order process, there's no complicated component choices, trade-offs, and no mechanic needs to be involved. You can put the pedals on the bike yourself, and you can swap the pedals from bike to bike very easily. The system is very simple, so it's all self-contained. 2 pedals. I promise there's a second pedal.
Yep.
2 pedal pods. It's a Look KO compatible system, so any KO compatible cleat can step right into this. We ship with 6 degree float cleats. As an accessory, you can also get 0 degree fixed float. It's a injected carbon fiber, very strong pedal body, and a very high quality stainless steel spindle, which really houses the heart of our system. So the heart of your power meter is the spindle from Vector. Inside the spindle, we mount very high resolution piezo resistive strain gauge technology, which is measuring the forces that you're applying to the pedal, so the pushing and the pulling that you're applying throughout the pedal stroke.
And this differs in a lot of the other power systems that are out there that are torque based?
That's correct. It's quite different principles. Instead of a torque system, which is measuring the twist around an axis, we're measuring the force vector, so the pushing and the pulling that you apply. So we're measuring that vector, which is both the direction of your force and the magnitude of your force, left and right, throughout the entire pedal stroke. You combine that with your cadence information, which gives us the distance that a pedal has traveled and over which time it's traveled, and from there we can calculate power. So the strain gauge system is mounted inside permanently. All you see exposed is a connector system. So inside here we've got piezo resistive strain gauge technology, which again is quite different than the torque-based systems, which are foil-based. What that allows us to do is the piezo resistive silicon gauge system, much higher signal to noise, so we get a much higher gauge factor. It allows us to design a very clean system and a very small system, so we can fit inside that pedal spindle with high quality signal. And it's also a very stable system, so once the system is calibrated at the Garmin factory and then goes out into the field on your pedal system, it doesn't drift over time. So very stable, and we think that's a great benefit. Greatly reduces the need for any field calibration. So the only thing external to the system is your pedal pod, and what it is effectively your transmitter. So the way that you mount this on the bike is you thread your spindle right through your pedal pod bracket. You tighten this down onto your crank. There's a surface on the inside of the pedal pod which mates with that mating surface on your crank, and you pop the connector in. So you've got a very secure connection into your spindle, and between the sensors inside the spindle and your pedal pod, you power them. So we've got a user replaceable 2032 battery. And you also get the signals off your sensor. So this becomes your ANT Plus transmitter. There's a pedal pod on each side. So the pedals, they communicate with each other. The left pedal is the slave pedal. The right pedal is the master pedal. So the left communicates its data to the right, and the right sends the data up to an ANT Plus compatible head unit like an Edge 500 or 800. So we're communicating total power, so your total watts, and we're also communicating your left-right balance. So of your 200 watts that you're producing, your 300 watts that you're producing, how much that's coming from the left leg, how much that's coming from the right leg. And that's not an estimate, that is precisely measured at each of your feet. So it's precisely what your power contribution is from each leg. So again, the simplicity is at the heart of the system. Each of these pedal pods, they're not handed, so they can be put on the right or the left. The system automatically configures itself. And the way that you screw this in and where your spindle ends up oriented on your crank, again, the orientation is all computed by the system within 10 pedal strokes. we've figured out the alignment of the sensors to the crank and know exactly what the tangential component or the driving force component of the system is. So buy it, install it, ride, and most importantly, easily swap it between bikes.
Awesome.
Most of the enthusiasts out there have 2, 3, 4, or more bikes.
Yeah.
And once you ride with power, the whole emphasis is how do I get power on every ride? And that was something we were trying to solve with Vector.
Yeah. Nice looking unit. Thanks very much, Clark.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay. Bye now.